Jìnnà sí wọn bí sánmọ̀ sílẹ̀ o, ara ló ń ta wọ́n ṣe mọ́ o. Náà bá sunkún sójú, bẹ̀rẹ̀ má ti fi ìgbín sọ kó fẹ́ yẹ. Ẹyẹ kò lọ ìgbín sọnù sígbó. Wọ́n dúró títí ọwọ́ wọn ò tó. Ìṣó máa ṣe ta ní kókó ṣòkòtò tí olókùn ó dá kìtìyàn o. Ó dórí àwọn lọ́tẹ̀ o. Àwọn lọ́tẹ̀ o. Ó dórí àwọn lọ́tẹ̀ o. Àbọ̀dórí àwọn lọ́tẹ̀ o. Ó dórí àwọn lọ́tẹ̀ o. Ọmọ iná náà mi arán síná. Orí mi dákun má ṣì mí lọ́nà o. Mo tẹríba fàdàgbà o. Àgbà ẹ foríjì ni. Ojoojúmọ́ ni mo ń pọ́n wọn lé. Mo ń ṣèyá sí àwọn àgbà o. Mi ò fojú tí ń rìn wọn láyé. Ọmọdé ẹ má fàgbà ṣe yẹ̀yẹ́. Torí oníkọ́ tó yẹ ọ̀la ni. Ọmọdé ń bọ̀ wá dàgbà o. Màmá ń bọ̀ wá dàgbà o. Ọmọdé ń bọ̀ wá dàgbà o. Wọ́n máa ń bọ̀ wá dàgbà o. Ọmọdé ń bọ̀ wá dàgbà o. Ọmọdé ń bọ̀ wá dàgbà o. Ọmọdé ń bọ̀ wá dàgbà o. Bọ́lájú kòkòrò bá gbẹ́ran nígbó, tó bá fúnra ẹ̀ pín ló dára jù o. Kọ̀wé mi á jẹ́ tàgbà o. Èyí mo rí màrò, ẹ̀ka gbogbo náà ní ilé ayé. Sùúrù ní ṣẹ́gun ohun gbogbo. Ẹ má ṣèké mo ní ẹ má dalẹ̀. Ẹ má forí wórí ìkìlọ̀ ló jẹ́. Ẹni forí wórí yìí yóò ṣàbàmọ̀. Àwa ò ní ṣàbàmọ̀ láyé o. Nílé ayé o. Àwa ò ní ṣàbàmọ̀ láyé. Àwa ò ní ṣàbàmọ̀ láyé. Àwa ò ní ṣàbàmọ̀ láyé. Dẹ́bìtọ̀ rẹ̀ àtàrà ilé o. Àwa ò ní ṣàbàmọ̀ láyé. Àwa ò ní ṣàbàmọ̀ láyé. Àwa ò ní ṣàbàmọ̀. Wọ́n gbọ́ pé ọjà tó nílùú Ṣókótó. Wọ́n múra wọn sáré kárù sọ́kọ̀ o. Àyàn ọmọ ògbóògùn wo. Wọn ò béèrè lọ́wọ́ orí. Mórí lọ́mọ mẹ́wàá lọ ìyàwó. Ohun tí ẹ wá lọ sí Ṣókótó. Ohun rẹ̀ lápò Ṣókótó mo sọ. Àkúnlẹ̀yàn ọmọ ẹ̀dá láyé. Kò lè yí padà mo ń tẹnu mọ́ o. Olórí làlábàrò. Orí làlábàrò. Olórí làlábàrò. Mo lórí làlábàrò. Olórí làlábàrò. Orí mi gbé mi níjà o. Olórí làlábàrò. Làlábàrò. Olórí làlábàrò. Oríjà jogun ìkànnì wọn rí. Má fi wá fáyé mu nílé ayé wa o. Olúwa àgbẹ̀ wa níyà o. Àní nílé ayé wa. Bó tilẹ̀ jẹ́ pé ọ̀tá kọ́ ni wá. Bó tilẹ̀ jẹ́ pé ọ̀tá kọ́ lẹ́yìn. Ṣọ́wa nínú ọ̀pá wọn kìnìún. Ejò olóró àkékè. Ṣọ́wa nínú ìdàgìrì ayé. Dáàbò ẹ̀bùn wá fi ṣọ́rẹ́ ṣọ́wa o. Mo sádì ọba bá lókè o. Mo sádì ọba bá lókè o. Mo sádì ọba bá lókè. Mo máa sádì ọba bá lókè o. Mo sádì ọba bá lókè o. Olúwa gbé wa níjà o. Mo sádì ọba bá lókè o. Kó má fi wá sílẹ̀ o. Mo sádì ọba bá lókè o. Olúwa má fi wá sílẹ̀ o. Mo sádì ọba bá lókè o. Àwọn ọ̀tá tí wọ́n rè rajọ, ìbànújẹ́ ti bá àwọn ọ̀tá nílé. Àwọn ọ̀tá tí wọ́n rè rajọ, ìbànújẹ́ ti bá àwọn ọ̀tá.
And there it is right there. So there it is right there. Ṣòkòtò tí ò lókùn ó dá kitiyan. Do you know what that means? For the benefit of the non-Yoruba speakers, it's part of the lyrics of that song. Ṣòkòtò tí ò lókùn ó dá kitiyan. You know the native buba and ṣòkòtò that the Yorubas wear. The artist was saying that if the ṣòkòtò, which is the trouser end of the buba and ṣòkòtò, if the ṣòkòtò, which is the trouser end, if it doesn't have a rope to tie it onto your waist, then it becomes a struggle. Very profound. Ṣòkòtò tí ò lókùn ó dá kitiyan. So ṣòkòtò tí ò lókùn ó dá kitiyan and all that. Good day to you. Good to be in your company. And how are you? I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. I hope the day is going your way, all that. So good day to you. What will make the day go my way is if you clicked on the like button. So please click on the like button. Click on that. If you are not already subscribed, please subscribe. And so I managed to kick myself out of the studio. That's a good start, isn't it? But as I was saying, please click on like if you have not already done that. Please subscribe if you haven't already done that. So like and subscribe. Share the links on your WhatsApp spaces, Facebook, etc., etc. And then come join me on the screen via the hyperlink that says StreamYard. So do all those things. So the session wraps around Nigerian politics at the presidential end. So that's where the conversation is going to wrap around. And we're going to be looking at commentaries coming out of the Southeast. So that's what we're going to be looking at. So one of the senior functionaries, I'm saying one of the senior functionaries, I wasn't even aware of this guy until recently, Dr. Ijeomah Arodiogbu. So hopefully I pronounced that right, but if I did not pronounce it right, when we start to listen to the video that we're going to be reacting to, then we get the right pronunciation. But a top chieftain of our southeastern extraction is telling us now that Tinubu is guaranteed to win the Southeast. So a very bold statement by this guy, and a very brave statement too, actually, because as we know, with the Southeastern political space, anybody that goes against the tribal code, they are always punished severely. I would remember, of course, what happened to Joe Igbo and all that. So he raises his head above the parapet to announce then that Tinubu is likely to win the Southeast in the upcoming election. So as I said, it's either a brave comment or a foolhardy comment. But we'll react now with the session where he makes that statement, and we will come to the conclusion then if he's being brave and honest, or if being foolhardy and putting himself at risk. So let's start it off from here.
Thanks for joining us on the program, everyone. Politics is heating up ahead of 2027, and tonight, a major signal from the Southeast. Stakeholders of the All Progressives Congress from the 5 Southeast states have thrown their full weight behind President Tinubu, unanimously endorsing his re-election bid. The endorsement followed an expanded stakeholders meeting in Enugu, where party leaders described the president's reforms as transformational and urged the region to abandon what they called fragmented politics. They insist that returning President Tinubu to the presidential villa as commander-in-chief is in the Southeast's best political and economic interest. The motion for the endorsement was moved by former Senate President Senator Pius Ayim and seconded by Senator Kenny Namani as governors from Imo, Enugu, and Ebonyi states, alongside federal lawmakers, attended the meeting. The communique was read by the APC Southeast National Vice Chairman, Dr. Ijeomah Arodiogbu, who joins me shortly on Beyond the Headlines.
Many people standing here, if you are not supporting our president, you will mold. We have just come to hear what is being said here. And I'm sure there's some molds here. So any effective member of APC from Southeast, we have a strong reason, because of our performing governors, to support the president.
So one of the things and takeaways from this meeting today must all of us to rise and agree that we must support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to complete his second term. When we have been able to achieve this, it will be a business of reciprocity. When right hand watches the left hand will watch the right hand, and the two hands will be free.
Clear.
Enugu State.
So just to be clear, so it's a self-interest position. That is what Hope Uzodimma is telling you right there. It says if they agreed to back President Tinubu, then it will be a matter of reciprocity. That's what he said. The left hand watching the right hand, both hands watching each other. So that was what he said. So what does it mean? If they at that gathering endorse Tinubu for a second term, and then their expectation then is that for Tinubu to also endorse them for their second term, because a lot of them are first term. Certainly, I think Opuzodimma is in the second term now, but a lot of them are still they're still jostling for elective positions. So what he's saying then is that if you back this guy, then he's likely to back you then for whatever political pursuit you are pursuing. And Hope Uzodimma, of course, when he leaves the State House in Imo State, his ambition, as we know from history, will gravitate towards the Senate. So he's not going into retirement. He's far too young, and is still too ambitious. So that reciprocity that I spoke about there is essentially that. Back the president for his second term, and he'll back your political ambitions.
Has become a bastion of the APC. Under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's leadership, Nigeria has begun the difficult work of repositioning itself for long-term strength. Hard choices have been made for sustainability.
It's a very large family. And in every large family, one must make a sacrifice. And I want to urge our leaders that we need to forgive one another and make a lot of sacrifice so that those that are joining us now, we have a place in our party. Like I promised our people in Ebonyi State, we're all one. We have one party now in Ebonyi.
Interesting development. Recall that in 2023, the region delivered just about 6% of votes to the ruling APC, a statistic that many say weakened its bargaining power at the center.
Yes. Just on that, actually, the 2023 elections was anomalous. I don't think we'll ever have any election in the history of Nigeria like we had in 2023. So it was an anomalous sort of an election. It went against the grain because all of the structures of politics was dabarooed. Let me put it that way. All of the structures of politics was dabarooed. The ruling party then was working against itself for reasons of they don't want it going to Tinubu. You had the Emefiele saga, all of this drama that happened that just created an atmosphere of resentment towards that election. There was no money in it was an anomalous election. So we're not likely to have any elections as like we had in our 2023. And data is always good. And the latest data that we have are the data coming out of 2023. But if we are permutating on the sacredness of the data of 2023, then we will reach the wrong conclusions because that data offers us nothing other than a glance at possibilities. And that is what is saying there. In the Southeast only gave Tinubu 6% of their votes. So, and that is why he's saying they are having difficulties now negotiating with the center because, of course, it's a quid pro quo system within the Nigerian space. You back me, I back you. You support me, I support you. So that's essentially what he's saying there.
Number of representation has grown tremendously over the years with 3 governors and quite a number of representation at the National Assembly. Fast forward to 2025, and something remarkable appears to be happening. APC governors and stakeholders in the Southeast are not just aligning with the federal government. They've gone further to adopt President Tinubu as a consensus candidate for 2027. They say it's pragmatism over protest politics and access over isolation. But this shift raises some hard questions. Is this about strategic survival or political surrender? Can endorsement from governors indeed translate into votes on the streets? And how does this square with the long-standing...
I'm not quite sure how that is a governor, you know. Sorry. I'm not quite sure how that is a question I meant to say. How does an endorsement by a sitting governor not translate into votes? That governor got votes to come into that post, and by virtue of him being the governor of that state, whichever state it is, then that means then he's the most popular politician in that state, because that is the translation of being the governor of a state. You can't be the least popular and you be the governor. So out of the people that contended for governorship, whoever the current governor is of whichever state is the most popular politician out of the people in contention then. So if they are endorsing something, that popularity is transportable to wherever it is that they are backing, especially if they are not, the narrative that they are backing is coherent. So I'm not quite sure about the validity or relevance of that question. I think it's just an opening question just to get the conversation going.
Demand for a Southeast presidency. Let's bring in Dr. Ijeomah Arodiogbu, who's National Vice Chairman of the APC in the Southeast. Dr. Arodiogbu, welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Happy New Year to you, and thank you for joining us again. This endorsement is being described as a paradigm shift. The APC now has 3 governors in the region, unprecedented. The other 2 are considered politically friendly. In very clear terms, what exactly would you say has changed in the region between 2023 and now?
Actually, we should not let that statement go under the radar. So he's saying then that there are 5 states in the Southeast. 3 of them are already APC, either historically or through defection. And the remaining 2, he's saying, that's the host in his or in his introduction of his question, he's saying that the remaining 2 are friendly to the PDP. So who are the remaining 2? It's Alex Otti and Charles Soludo. Charles Soludo, by his own public pronouncement, is a Tinubu man, and Alex Otti, by his body language, is also a Tinubu man. So to all intents and purposes, all of the state houses in the Southeast, they belong to Tinubu.
Well, thank you for having me, and Happy New Year to you. I will tell you clearly that a lot has changed. One, I want to talk about the meeting we had on the 10th. It is the tradition of Ndi Igbo that at the end of the year or beginning of the year, families come together and interrogate what happened the previous year and planned for the future year. And it was in that light that we held a meeting themed Izu Umunne. That is a discussion between brothers. The meeting we held on the 10th was not just a meeting of political leaders of APC extraction. It was the meeting of the Southeast. Before we held that meeting, we had consultation with the other 2 governors. Myself and the governor of Imo State visited the governor of Abia State, and they had a joint press conference also endorsing the president. And I know there was a lot of conversation between the governor of Enugu State and the governor of Anambra State in the same light. Everybody is in support of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration and the need to endorse him for a second tenure. I read the communique drafted by all the leaders, and I opened the meeting. And in opening the meeting, I talked about the administration, the difficulties that people are facing, the pedestrian view. I talked about the achievements of the current administration and how it has favored our people. I talked about the zone, the Southeast zone, how it has fared in the last 1 year, and also the national APC body, how we have fared. And in all, the people of Igbo, agreed that we are better off with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We didn't just have a meeting and give an endorsement by God.
In terms of impact, the Tinubu administration has been the most impactful on the southeastern space. If you remove the if you remove the second Niger bridge that Buhari built, a lot of the historical infrastructural needs of that region is being addressed now. Dave Umahi gave us a list of all of the ongoing or completed major projects in the Southeast. He created a Southeastern Commission for them for accelerated development, and he has a friendly rapport with all of the state houses. So he opens the government to the development of the Southeastern region, which is somewhat of a novelty in Nigerian governance. Most Nigerian presidents, they just treat the Southeast with disregard. They just ignore them in essence.
Governors. It wasn't just the governors. In fact, the traditional rulers, the communities, the trade unions were all in support of what happened on the 10th of January in Enugu. So it was a meeting of brethren. We are all leaders. Our brother Peter Obi is also a leader, like I am a leader. Our major leader in the zone is Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State. So if any of us will say that we are talking about Igbo presidency, all the leaders, including myself, we sit on a table and discuss and say what is in it for us. How do we approach it? Not for one person to just rascally jump out and say that we are looking for Igbo presidency. We have decided and we discussed before that. All through the Christmas season, we visited.
Not that aside, by the way, not for one person to just rascally jump out and say we're looking for an Igbo presidency. So who do you think the rascal is that is referencing? Tell me in the comment section who the rascal is that the chieftain from the chief from the Southeast is referencing. Let me take it back again, actually, so you can hear it.
Last 1 year, and also the national APC body, how we have fared. And in all, the people of Igbo agreed that we are better off with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We didn't just have a meeting and give an endorsement by governors. It wasn't just the governors. In fact, the traditional rulers, the communities, the trade unions were all in support of what happened on the 10th of January in Enugu. So it was a meeting of brethren. We are all leaders. Our brother Peter Obi is also a leader, like I am a leader. Our major leader in the zone is Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State. So if any of us will say that we are talking about Igbo presidency, all the leaders, including myself, we sit on a table and discuss and say what is in it for us. How do we approach it? Not for one person to just rascally jump out and say that we are looking for Igbo presidency. We have decided and we discussed before that. All through the Christmas season, we visited one another. We discussed politics. We discussed the welfare of our people. I visited the deputy speaker in his office in Omahia, build up of the meeting. And we all discussed. It's not just about people in the APC political divide. It's every Igbo man.
All right. Dr. Arodiogbu, we're going to talk about the Igbo presidency in a minute, but they say governors can endorse party leaders or indeed, stakeholders, as you mentioned, can resolve, but elections are won at polling units. What evidence do you have that this, what many call elite consensus, will actually reflect the mood of voters who overwhelmingly rejected the APC just 3 years ago? The ruling party got just 6% in 2023.
The 2023 election is not what we should keep referring to. It is in the past. And I tell you, then we made the mistake of not telling our people boldly, like we did on the 10th. This is where the leaders stand. So the youth, in the fourth stanza of the former national anthem, they said, tell the youth the truth to know. So we didn't make that effort that we are making now. It was a big error. And one of us now went and hoodwinked the people to believing that the Southeast don't want Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that we are doing regional politics. And that is what played out. And it played out in other regions and our people living in other zones. That emotion does not exist now. So anybody telling you that the Southeast rejected APC in the last election, it is something in the past.
But
we
you were
have
at that meeting
enough to sensitize our people.
You heard Senator Inamani say that some people there are moles, that some of the people who joined that meeting are moles. You don't think that's like an acknowledgement that there are even certain individuals at that meeting you held on Saturday that do not subscribe to a Tinubu presidency in 2027?
How is that even a question? How can you have the expectation of a universal consensus? Of course, even in the Southwest, not every Southwesterner, as we have seen in politics, not every Southwesterner endorses Tinubu or rates him especially, but the majority of the abundance of the Southwest endorse him and rate him. So you saying that there are elements within that gathering that do not especially endorse Tinubu is somewhat of a non sequitur question to the point of being almost nonsensical question.
Well, it is not unexpected that in a gathering of almost 5,000 people, that there will be some people that could even be planted by the opposition party. He knows what he said. It's possible that some people could sneak in there to be counted among us. And we are aware that we know that the Nigerian people, Ndi Igbo, everywhere they are now beginning to see the truth, that our lot is better off supporting President Bola Ahmed Tinubu against someone that we go and say that we go and negotiate that the Igbos can do one term. Who did he sit down with to discuss that, to agree upon that? Yes, it's possible that there could be some plants, some moles from other political parties. It's possible. In politics, it always happens. But the majority of Ndi Igbo are aware and are in support of our party now. In 2023, it was even very difficult for us to campaign. They just labeled us all sorts. But that is not the case now. So I am sure that the Southeast will vote massively this time. We won't pull less than 75% in any state in the Southeast. Take my word for that. Even in Anambra or Abia states, we won't pull less than 75% for the APC.
That is very optimistic because very optimistic because almost more than 90% of the entire votes in the Southeast in the last election. You know, there are many in the region.
Okay, let me go a step further.
Let me go a step further. You know that there are many in the region who still believe that justice and equity demand a East president. I'm wondering how you can say endorsement for Mr. President, you know, stands or fare against the moral argument for producing the president in the near future. The near future for them would be 2027 because
you know, I've never really understood that narrative that justice and equity demands a Southeastern president. What does that mean? Does that mean that I mean, what is the want? Is the want for the country to develop and advance, or is it the want that we do some sort of regionalized system which is revolving the presidency around ethnicity, irrespective of how capacitated or not somebody is to hold that position? So I've never really understood that narrative that it is our turn sort of a thing. What did Issa Fantua say? Do you remember Issa Fantua, one of the top functionaries of the Buhari administration? Do you remember what he said? He said that when did the country become Turn by Turn Nigeria Limited. That was what he said. Do you remember? I think it was actually on a Rice TV that he said that when did the country become Turn by Turn Nigeria Limited? So it's not an argument to say that just because your region has not. And by the way, we've had Southeastern presidents before. Aguiyi Ironsi was a Southeastern president. Nnamdi Azikiwe was a Southeastern president. But because the politics has not yet permutated back to the Southeast, it doesn't mean that we've never experienced the Southeastern governance before. So we have experienced it before. And the guy was asking, this thing that Peter Obi said about serving only one term, that's somewhat of a chancing actually, and a misdirection. That was a Wayo man sort of a statement. Which is what this guy was saying. And even Ruben Abati spoke on that. Let me give you what Ruben Abati actually said about Peter Obi going around telling people that he will serve one term.
Do you think it is possible in Nigerian politics for anybody who becomes president from any zone to promise, I will serve only one term, and people will believe that person? Because these positions are not held only by persons. They are also held by ethnic groups, geographical zones, and all of that. And all of them will come and say, no, this is our turn. And if Mr. Peter Obi becomes president of Nigeria, do you think Igbos will agree with him to say, I want to do only one term, when the last time they held the #1 position was since the time of Aguiyi Ironsi? But I'm saying that any politician that comes to you and says, I'm going to do only one term, that's a sign of desperation. It will not work. Just like all these gambits about serving food, carrying plates, and doing boy at parties that could be better organized by event organizers. It's also a sign of desperation. It doesn't work. It will never.
So essentially, Ruben Abati really echoing what this chieftain, I can't remember his name, Chief Arodiogbu, Ruben Abati really echoing, yes, what's his name again? Arodiogbu, Chief Arodiogbu. Ruben Abati really echoing what he's saying, that it's somewhat of a nonsensical statement. This thing that Peter Obi is doing, going around saying that if he becomes president, he will only serve one term. It's not even one, it's a lie, because he will never serve only one term if he becomes president, nor will Atiku Abubakar serve only one term or give it to the Southeast. I'm not sure that anybody is dumb enough to believe that. So that's one. And then even that, he didn't even negotiate it with his clan space. Because if Peter Obi becomes president, it's not just President Peter Obi as an individual, it's a representation of a particular ethnic stock. And it's not acting on its own individualistic consonants. So that's essentially what they're saying there.
One term. Who did he sit down with to discuss that, to agree upon that? Yes, it's possible that there could be some plans, some moles from other political parties. It's possible. In politics, it always happens. But the majority of Ndi Igbo are aware and are in support of our party now. In 2023, it was even very difficult for us to campaign. They just labeled us all sorts, but that is not the case now. So I am sure that the Southeast will vote massively this time. We won't pull less than 75% in any state in the Southeast. Take my word for that. Even in Anambra or Abia states, we won't pull less than 75%.
Okay, so that's the leap right there. So that was what inspired the headline. And by the way, can people please make sure they are clicking on like and subscribing? We're not seeing sufficient enough of the numbers going up. So please, if you could, click on like. And if you're not already subscribed, click on subscribe. You can see we have a target. It's on that banner on your screen right there that we're after 10 new subscribers. So if you want to be one of them, you can be one of them. It's only really clicking on the red subscribe button, and then that makes you a subscriber. So it's a leap from where things are to what this man is now talking about. Tinubu got about roughly 6% of the votes in the Southeast in the last cycle of elections. And now this gentleman right here now is telling us now that that 6% is going to leap not just to an impressive 12% or even an impressive 25%, which is the electoral requirement threshold. It's actually going to leap from 6% to 75% of the Southeastern vote. So that's ambition, and that's foolhardiness. But I'm not quite sure. That's just wild anyway. I'm not quite sure how that journey completes, but it's an APC man, so I think he has to speak in that sort of language. But that's ridiculous a statement to make.
For the APC,
that is very optimistic because very optimistic because Peter Obi got almost more than 90% of the entire votes in the Southeast in the last election. You know, there are many in the region.
Okay, let me go a step further.
Just a minute.
Let me go a step further.
You know that there are many in the region who still believe that justice and equity demand a Southeast president. I'm wondering how you think this early endorsement for Mr. President, stands or fare against the moral argument for producing the president in the near future. The near future for them would be 2027 because an 8-year presidency for Tinubu is probably going to be followed up by another president from the north. They are saying they can't wait for that long.
Well, I will draw your attention to the immediate last election in Anambra State. Peter Obi campaigned for his choice candidates, and they came maybe abysmal fourth in all the elections, the Senate election and the governorship election. But
the speaker there is missing one crucial factor. So the choice in Anambra State was the choice between one Igbo man or the other. So then it leaves it then to the individualistic political leanings of the voter. So it leaves it to the voter to make the decision on which of the Igbo men available they want to vote for. At the presidential level, it will be an Igbo man versus a Yoruba man versus a Fulani man. So then that rallies people to the tribe. So I think the example is citing is it doesn't quite apply.
That 2023 you're talking about, anybody that was associated with Peter Obi, no matter how little he was or how unacceptable he was, won the election. But what happened in Anambra is a clear picture that the people are seeing very clearly now. In his own senatorial zone, he could not win. In his own ward, he did not win his ward. He shows that his followership, even in his native Anambra State, is no more there. He shows that our people are seeing clearly. Our people are smarter than you can ever imagine. We cannot follow somebody from ABGA to PDP to Labour Party to ADC. So our people will just be moving like that because of one individual. It is not possible. There's something every sprinter is trained to know. From beginning of your career as a printer, you're shown where the mark starts. On your marks, you stand on your marks. And you also told that there's a finish line in every race, the red tape. So someone that when you say on your marks and somebody doesn't know that he has to stay properly on this start point, and the person doesn't know you have to accelerate as fast as possible, depending on the race, whether you're running a relay or a 100-meter race, because the approach running for a relay and a 100-meter race or 5,000-meter race might not be the same. And you fail to accelerate, then after the red line has been crossed, you start accelerating. It means you don't know what.
Just to what this man is saying here, I have said something similarly severally on this platform over the years, that this never-ending campaign that Peter Obi has been campaigning since the last cycle of election is a mistake. Do you understand? It's a mistake. Because since INEC declared Tinubu the president 2023, Peter Obi has not taken a day off from campaigning. And that has been a mistake. Because it's on every interview, he runs commentary on every policy and is consistently, relentlessly running the administration down. So that is a mistake. because like the guy said, you cannot run a marathon for what is meant to be a sprint. So Peter Obi could and should have been criticizing the government, but intermittently. Not every single day. There's a tweet, there's a comment, there's an interview, there's a voice note. He overlabored it. So it was because of the pace at which he was going and not pausing for breath. I've always been of the view that as we get closer to the elections, Peter Obi will somewhat demythify himself by being too much in public circulation. And the demythification of Peter Obi is what we're seeing playing out now. And this is what this guy is saying, that you cannot sprint for a marathon and you cannot marathon for a sprint. So it's horses for courses. I think he played it wrongly. This never-ending campaign since 2023 till date. And like I said, it's been demythified now. His followership is shrinking quite visibly. And even the tribal thing is starting to ebb away from him a little bit. But please, people, make sure you are liking and subscribing. We're not seeing numbers going up. Please push up the numbers.
What it means to be a sprinter. So that is what is happening. Our people have interrogated issue and saw that the rascality of our brother in the 2023 election has affected us so much that the president is just being magnanimous in all the good things he's doing for the Southeast. Because the vote they put for him, he hoodwinked our people to lose our fortune. That is what happened. And our people are wiser for that. So you will be surprised what you will see in 2027.
And by the way, the video is coming to, the interview is coming to an end. So if you want to come into the studio to give your thoughts on what the gentleman, Chief, Ijeomah Arodiogbu. So if you want to come into the studio to give your thoughts on what he has been saying so far, or what he will say by the time we get to the end, if you want to come into the studio, I'll send the link into the comment section. So you click on that link and come in, especially if you have never joined us before. We would like to hear your voice. We had Godwin join us for the first time yesterday. You'll be the Godwin of this session. So we go back to the clip.
I tell you that, mark my word for it.
All right. Let us take a short break and we'll return to this conversation. Stay with us, everyone. Dr. Ijeomah Arodiogbu is the National Vice Chairman of the APC in the Southeast. Thank you for staying the course on the program. Dr. Arodiogbu is quite optimistic. He mentioned earlier that the APC would get over 75% of the vote in the Southeast come 2027. We heard Governor Uzodimma also say on Saturday that President Tinubu has placed faith in the region. But beyond appointments and rhetorics, what concrete actions should ordinary Southeast voters point to and say, you know what, yes, this administration truly prioritizes us? What can they look back on today?
Well, everybody talks about the Southeast Development Commission, and that is there for you to see. And you know too about the infrastructure development in the Southeast. There are a lot of infrastructure being done in this administration that the Southeasterners didn't know was possible. So they are seeing a lot, they are seeing enough. And the economic policies of this administration, our people are beginning to see the benefit. Our people are business people. They have seen the enabling environment that this administration has created. And a honest president that even during the campaign, and even as soon as he came on board, he said it is going to be tough at the beginning of my administration. But be patient, things will get better. And people are seeing things getting better. Manufacturers are very happy with what is going on. And that is what our people do. Business people are very happy with the outcome of the policies. Because in the previous administrations, our brothers that are into manufacturing cannot find forex anywhere to do their business. Even people to import raw materials or to import this. But I know now a lot of friends I have that are manufacturers. They are saying, okay, the one that is into pharmaceutical said it is happening so well in the pharmaceutical area. This, that. I told him it's not only in the pharmaceutical area. The one that is into agriculture said that what is happening in agriculture, he can't believe it's possible. And our people are practical people. They are seeing it. And I tell you, on the day of election, the voters always ask the leaders in their various communities, what do you even think about this administration? And we started early. Our endorsement now is coming early enough so that we will not let our people to be deceived as it happened in 2023. Right. Always remember what I told you about the case in Anambra State. It is a full referendum. Are the people still with our brother? They said no. Because you know, when a madman is naked dancing in the market square, every other person will laugh and jeer because he's not their brother. But the family of the madman is ashamed. So it is their responsibility to take him into the house and dress him up to cover the family shame. That is what we have started early enough at the beginning of the year when we have interrogated the welfare of the Nigerian nation, the welfare of the Southeast region. We know that there is no option better for us than to support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And who are you going to defeat in the Southeast? Our governors are working. They are wonderful people. They are not just local governors. They are loved by their people. Governor Hope Uzodinma is so much loved by all the Igbo people. And the Igbo people can do anything to follow him. The same thing is happening in Ebonyi State. And the same thing is happening in Anambra State. Sorry, in Enugu State. Now, our brothers in the other states are all working with us. I've told you about our consultation with other leaders, including traditional rulers. This meeting...
You know, the real test of Tinubu will not be him getting 75% or more of the votes in the Southeast. That's just a ludicrous thing to say. The real test for Tinubu is if he's able to break that 25% threshold. Because, of course, he got 6% in the last cycle. Just broadly, it's averaged to, not 6% in every state, but averagely across the Southeast, it got roughly about 6%. So the test now of his popularity or the people of the Southeast warming towards him is if he's able to double that figure from 6 to 12, that will be the test. Or even if it's able to, if Tinubu is able to score an average of 20 to 25% in the Southeast, then you can claim victory for Tinubu, because that is a huge leap, both from the last cycle of data, which was 6%, and the relationship of the Southeast with Tinubu as a Southwestern president. So if he gets 20%, he's essentially won the Southeast. I think that's a fair statement to make.
It was not just a meeting of APC politicians. It is a referendum of Ndi Igbo. I read that communique, and I know that it had input from all sectors, all strata, all demography of Igbo people. Thank you.
I hear you clearly. More governors, more senators, more seats at the House of Reps. You know, but your critics will still say that they kind of...
Have you ever paused to wonder what all of that means? A lot of our senators in the Southeast have defected to Tinubu. A good 60% of the governors in the Southeast are APC members, and the remaining 40%, they are APC sympathizing members, governors. So what does all of that mean? That means the deployment of all of that power and potency to ensure that, because of course, they will look at numbers after the elections, and whoever does well gets rewarded. That's just how politics works. So they will deploy all of the machinations of their office and their power and potency to impact as much for the APC as possible. So that's what they call structure. So it's not sufficient enough to say that, oh, it's our son. So it's going to be interesting, actually. The figures coming out of the Southeast in the next cycle of elections will be one of the most interesting things about that election.
Of expansion we are seeing in the region isn't as organic, that it is elite-driven. And there are big questions about how you intend to convert this growth into genuine grassroots loyalty by 2027, but you seem to believe otherwise. I want to quickly just take you to the South, neighboring South, where we're following developments. There are indications that the River State House of Assembly may be considering a lifeline for Governor Fubara and his deputy amongst the looming impeachment threat. And this follows appeals by some lawmakers who are now urging their colleagues to reconsider the move in the interest of peace. They're saying that the shift in position was influenced by interventions from certain political stakeholders. This is exactly what they said.
Well, I am a chieftain.
Just a minute, Doctor. I wanted us to hear precisely what the lawmaker said earlier today to intervene in the House of Assembly impeachment process.
All right, they are going to South matters now, so I think we can leave it there. So we're leaving it there. I was going to bail out, but I think we have Al with us because nobody's coming into the studio. I'll send the link just one more time. Anybody wants to come in. So Al, I'm not quite sure how much you are invested in this particular conversation. You not being a Southeasterner, never mind not being a Nigerian, but good to have you nevertheless, Al. Wagwan. Al, on mute. Are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can. Good to have you, my brother. You're muted again. Oh, all right. If anybody else wants to come in now, because this might well be short-lived if Al can't speak and you know. Okay, we got Joel. So Joel, good to have you. How much do you know of this guy, and how much do you make of his politics? I know you are staunching the whole Peter Obi supporter, but pragmatism and realism versus hope and wishful thinking.
Yeah, and the latter, the hope and wishful thinking, really represents the aspirations of those leaders who endorsed Tinubu. On that note, one man, good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you may be listening from, Joel of Nashville on the One Man Show. One man, I have told you what is going to happen in this election. Like I said yesterday, and I'm going to repeat it today. I am not here to mince words. The leaders of the Southeast decided to
The leaders of the Southeast decided to interfere with your audio, is what seems to have happened because.
Oh, sorry.
Carry on.
Sorry. Okay. So the leaders of the Southeast, right, decided on their own to support Tinubu, and there's no problem with that. But my own thing is this: the support comes at what cost? What are you getting in return for that? Is it that Tinubu has given you an extra state, or is it that Tinubu has invested in the rail in the Southeast? What exactly has Tinubu done in the Southeast for us to give him our votes? Because it comes to that at the end of the day. Some people say, oh, he gave Umahi ministry. That is a personal. That's a personal. I don't know who Umahi is. Umahi lives somewhere in the Ebonyi State. I don't know who he is. The appointment of Umahi does not affect me.
He's more of an Igbo man than you.
Oh well, it's okay. I'm not going to. He's an Igbo man. I'm an Igbo man, so I'm not going to divide ourselves on this show. But the issue here is simple. The heads of some political parties decided to endorse Tinubu. If you remember, all the APC governors we have in the Southeast, except for Hope, who got his position through the Supreme Court. Every other APC government, apart and the one from Ebonyi State, every other one of them cross-carpeted, while they were maybe in another party. They now decided to go to APC. Rochas got into position through ABGA and went to APC, and from there they started building up. Well, the Supreme Court actually gave it to Oposodema. So my point is this: they have never won, through the ballots in the Southeast. So I don't know who these leaders are. I know their names. Some of them I saw Pius Ayin screaming like barking like a dog. I was like, oh, Ayin, I didn't know you speak this. You speak this hard.
No, the people in that gathering, they are the biggest names in Southeastern politics. They
are spent force. They are spent force. They have no political value. That's the point I was trying to make you understand. And one man, for 2 years now, I've been hampering this on your show. I told you, if Tinubu wants to win Southeast, work directly with the people. Work on issues that affect the people directly. Not all these political rascals that we have in the Southeast. They're not going to give you the votes. If you want to get the people of the Southeast, you deal with them directly. And how do you deal with them directly? Their roads, Onisha, Nnewi, Aba, expand it for them. It's not going to take much money. I mean, $1 trillion or 2 trillion will make a huge difference. And you endear the people to yourself. I bet you Tinubu must have compromised over 2 to 4 to 5 trillion on these leaders. You do not invest on these leaders. You invest in the people. So it's not going to make no sense. I don't know who this guy is. I never had his name before.
Are you talking about? Sorry, Joel. Are you talking about the $3 billion budgeted for a rail system in the Southeast? Is that the sort of investment, or all the roads being built? Yeah,
it's still budgeted. I'm talking about action. When you want to win something, you work on it like it's an emergency. I told you this right from the first day. There was a day that question was thrown on this show, and I told you, said, how will Tinubu, you asked the question, how will Tinubu win the people from the Southeast? And people were saying, oh, no matter what he does. I said, that's a defeatist mentality. I said, work with the people. Show them, and they will support you. Even Peter Obi will have no choice than to tilt towards you. Action. But, Tinubu got into power, and I don't know what happened. And, along the way, he found out that, oh, my Northwest base is having problem. Oh, the best way for me to do it is to get the governors. So, basically, what Tinubu wants to do in the election is rigging. You cannot rig your way in this election, one man. Unless the right candidate is not there to compete with you. He may be lucky like a Soludo.
Joel, I've often heard the opposition space say that Tinubu rigging. But if you look at the politics as it stands now, there is no reason for Tinubu to rig. That's the thing. Tinubu controls 30 out of the 36 states in the country. That is to say, all of the instrumentalities of those states will get what's his re-election. That's one. And then Tinubu is also on a journey that the people are aware of. The local government, they're all reporting it. To go on all of the news platforms, Rise channels, etc., etc. They're interviewing all these local government chairmen, and they're telling us now that the money is landing in their hands for the development of their local government. So there's that. You have the NEL fund, you have the tax refund, which by the end of this month, our salary earners will find that their take-home pay increases because the people know what this guy is doing. So and he also controls 30 of the states. So there is no need for him to rig now. You know, the journey is embarked on with the country, and the political space that he controls returns him irrespective.
One man, you're always trying to be smart by half. And I give it to you. The point remains that the reason why there is coercing of governors into the APC is simply because they want to rig the election. When you talk about instrumentalities, what is instrumentalities? You should be talking about what have you done for the people, not instrumentality. What instrumentality are you talking about? You're talking about the wherewithal to rig, the wherewithal to change votes. That's what you're talking about. It's to rigging. And I said it yesterday that we cannot be talking about rigging on your show. We cannot be seen to be supporting rigging of election, because the only way Tinubu is going to win is by rigging, and that's the reason why he felt it's so important to get people, to get these governors to his side, to get these local government people to his side, the local government chairman to his side. But I want to tell you something. Yeah, they say politics is local, but at the end of the day, when it comes to the presidential, we know that it's no more local. It's about someone out there in Abuja that is going to make that decision. And when it comes to that decision, you're talking about who has the soul of the people. Tinubu has the head. Obi got the soul. The only reason why Tinubu will have an easy ride is if ADC present an article. Because is there going to be rigging? There's going to be rigging. But I have seen in so many elections, I saw it with the election of Obama, I saw it with the election of Trump. Enthusiasm turns on rigging anytime, any day. If the people are ginger to vote, if the people are ginger to come out to vote, no matter what you do with your rigging, it will not stand. They're going to win. The people will always win when they come out. I saw it with Trump. There was rigging in blue states, but the will of the people to say, you know what, we want to make this change, trounced all the rigging. So what is going to make people come out is the candidates. I have people say, oh, there have been a off-cycle election here and there. No, Obi is not on the ballots. That's the reason why. If Obi is on the ballots, then you're going to see what mobilization looks like. So that's the thing. So I have no problem with these guys coming out to say, I want Tinubu, and we have decided it's going to be Tinubu. You, the elders, you guys decided, a portion of our elders, you guys decided that, oh, it's going to be Tinubu. Fine. We, the people, we are telling you it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. The people of Southeast will vote those or decide to say, you know what, let's just stay out of this one. If NDC does not give us OP, then what are we coming out to do? Let the people continue. So then they can, you know, when the people does not come out, it's easy for the politicians to rig. When the people does not come out. So that's the thing, man. I believe I can make myself clear.
All right, Brother. Stay with us. Let's bring Comrade Omoru into the conversation. Did you want to say something, Al? I'm not sure. It's Igbo politics, so I'm not quite sure.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, man, I try to meddle in there a little bit because you know how these people are like towards my people, isn't it? But I'm not going to be extremely negative. But however, I just think looking at it from the outside and communicating with people, I don't think my man got a chance. I think the next election coming, that base that they upset in the north. I had it saying Tinubu have lost the northwest. That's not true. Based on what I see, the people I speak to in the northwest, they actually are ready to support him because of this Christian genocide. It's gonna be another. Listen, the people that went to complain against Tinubu to America, right? they have actually played a bad game, because that's actually landing in his benefit. Because now the northern base, which is his base, the conservative Muslim North, there is no way on earth these people will vote Obi, and this is the biggest block in vote in the North. So forget about that. Let's just wash our hands in that to start with. So I don't think all these people are coming into APC. The president really need them, and I don't think he should trust them, because they're all coming there for their own agenda. You know, they don't come there for the better of the government, and that's the reality. And I just wish, you know, all this insecurity will end, and then all these problems and all this tribalism will come to an end. That's my biggest hope.
You want it to come to an end, but you're preaching it. You're hanging on to it, but you want it to go. How would it go when you're hanging on to it?
No. Hold on, Joe. Listen to what he's saying now. It's telling you that the pragmatism doesn't lend to the Northerners voting for Peter Obi, and there's nothing that there's no
Christian genocide. How does Christian genocide have to do with Obi? What does
No, that's the wrong example. But the point still is that there's no incentive for the Northerners to vote for Peter Obi. It's not of their ethnic stock. It's not that they believe in him, especially that he's greater than anything else. And they know that he'll stand in the way of them getting the presidency back anytime soon. So there's no reason why a Northerner will vote for Obi now. And like he said, that's the largest voting bloc.
Okay.
So and also I find something amazing that you just said, right? You said if Peter Obi don't have the ticket, let Tinubu stay in power. But you are the first person that came here and criticized Tinubu. So what do you want for your country? Is it Peter Obi, or is the betterness of your country?
What I want is that are you from Nigeria?
It doesn't matter. I'm just listening. No. I
want to ask a question. Hold on, brother.
No. It doesn't matter. I'm a Fulani guy. That's all you need to know. Yeah. I'm asking.
Okay. You're not. I guess you're not. Hold on. Let me answer your question. You asked me a question. The issue is this, right? We've had a problem of northern domination in our politics in the past. So the reason why I asked you that question, can I say something now? Can I say something? You asked me a question.
Hold on, Joel. Let him respond to you, and then you respond back, and then we have a more really come in. But I'm going to leave the conversation. Hold on, I'm going to leave the conversation for about 20 minutes. So if any of the hosts is listening, if you can come in and let people in and out, because I have to go run a small errand. But you carry on amongst yourself. You are the three of you there, so carry on amongst yourself. Maybe until I get back or another host comes in. Yeah, let Joel respond. Then you go back and then let Omoru in at some point.
No problem. One man, you owe me an apology. The one man before you go, you owe me an apology since the last time. But I will speak to you another day. All right, take care.
Okay, my brother, this is the issue, right? In Nigeria, we've had issue of northern dominance, especially when it was in the military rule, right?
Right.
And it has come with some arrogance, not from the ordinary northerner, but from some northern elites. So now we decided that, okay, you know what? For balance sake, because it should be between the north and the south. So the north has 8 years and the south has 8 years.
Yes.
Now, Tinubu is from the south.
Right.
And he's only done 4 years.
Okay.
So it is only natural, or it's only normal for the south to complete their 4 years.
Okay.
Do you get where I'm coming from? That is where I'm coming from. That's the foundation. That's why I asked you if you were Nigerian. It's not to mock you, but I just wanted to take you through this history, right?
No problem.
So that is the foundation of every arrangement we're going to make. Because in 2015, Jonathan could not win his re-election. Do you know why? Because it was counted that it was the turn of the North, and even people in the South voted against him. This same President Tinubu, that's the president today, right, voted against the ticket, and they won. That was when Buhari came in.
Did you just say everybody in the South voted against Jonathan?
No, I said some people in the South voted against Jonathan.
It's always so. There's no way you can get absolute support from any region. And nobody can become Nigerian president without the support of every other region.
Hold on.
I don't like this kind of we're trying to bend the truth to the country. We're with the objective for once, for Christ's sake.
My brother, let him finish.
When you go, I go by numbers.
Okay.
When you look at the amount of votes Jonathan got in and Buhari got in the South in 2015, it lays credence to the fact that many people from the southern stock voted Buhari, and the reason why they did that was just simple. Because they believe that it was the turn of the North. Thank you very much.
Okay. First, well, thank you. Thank you. You made some valid points. I understand about rotational politics in Nigeria, even though I am not one. And yes, I think rotational politics is something I have my own private opinion about. I just don't think it's the right way to lead the country. But however, if the people of Nigeria decide that's what they want to do, it's democracy. So fine. For me, I think the problem you have, I don't think you have problem with Northern dominant. I think you have problem with elite dominance in Nigeria. Nigeria is a country of elites and a rotten capitalism, and tribal and religious, issues and regional issues just add on top of it. It's like a layer of problem you have. Well, you need to identify this problem, fix them. Otherwise you're still going to be here years later, because all this insecurity that you have is actually because of bad governance, which is really sad. So for me, I one man will tell you, me and one man used to argue all the time. I used to support Obi, okay? I'm not Nigerian, but I just thought this guy is dynamic. He got some of the things he takes. He's not the best candidate in my opinion. I've seen other candidates, other people in Nigeria there, who I studied very well from South and North that could lead the country better than Obi. But the only thing I don't like is this lack of patriotism in the nation when people of foreign nation are trying to invade, or people who are local citizens who are actually going outside to lobby American government to come and invade their nation. And that's really wrong. And I think Nigerian government should identify those people and remove their citizenship from Nigeria, because these people are not patriotic. They are basically enemy of the state. Okay? And because when a time of foreign invasion, you don't put politics together. I said that before. And I have criticized Tinubu time and time. This is like just after he came to power. Me and one man, we had so many arguments about his foreign policy. I saw so many things he's doing is right. Some of the things he's doing, I think the people around him are clueless. A part of his national security advisor, who I think is doing an amazing job. But the rest of them are like really clueless guys. Some of them are actually quite uneducated, to be honest, to be in government. But if they, he's doing some things well. You got to give him credit. But however, there is like the foreign policy where I always used to complain about is where all the issues coming out in the day. At a hard time, when it comes to election day, then you can teach the leader, what you make of him. You can go and vote against him. But when there is a time of, urgency, like people coming to take over your country and get involved in your local politics and stuff like that, that's not good for us in Africa.
I think he has a network problem. Are you still there?
Hello, can you hear me? Yeah, can you hear me now?
We lost you for some time. I think your network is stable.
Yeah. Can you hear me now? Is that okay now?
Yes, I think it's better now.
No?
Round it off and so that somebody else can come in.
Okay, well, let me just finish. Peter Obi should forget about obedience if you want to succeed. He should rely on his Southeast base to become a Nigerian president. And that's my opinion. The obedient base, I reckon you have already lost half of them. And and also they're not reliable in terms of certain, political reliability. And I don't think we should rely on them. We should galvanize the Southeast base and move that in to whatever party is going to be staying at. And that's my opinion. So Southeasterners, if they want to get a Southeastern president, they should come out and vote for Obi if they want to look at the thing as a tribal thing, okay? But if they want to look at the thing as a national issue, they should vote for whoever that they see fit. But if you want to look at the thing as a tribal way, I would advise Southeasterners and I advise Peter Obi to stay with the Southeast base and abandon the dividends, and so he can lose them totally, and basically then he can find either ADC or any other political party to contest on. I'll pass my vote tomorrow. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know if Mr. Joel is still there. Is Joel still there?
Don't worry. I'm here.
Okay, I think we're just three on the platform. Good morning, everybody. I disagree with the last speaker. I agree with most of the things you said, but I disagree with you on the ground that Nigerians should talk to, cry out when they feel there is a Christian genocide. And the denial either is not the solution. When something is going on, you cannot beat a child and ask the child not to cry, or tell the child how to cry. The primary responsibility of any government is the security of lives and property of the people. So when people cannot go to their farm anymore, not even farm, used to start by not being able to go to their farms and their market. Now, you cannot even go out of your house. What is going on in Ijeomah with the CCTV footage we are seeing in Ijeomah? People are being kidnapped even at right from their own compound. Either when you trying to go out or when you coming in. So it has worsened to that situation. So in that case, you don't allow people, cannot tell people not to cry when government has failed woefully in its responsibility to carry out
the government arrested even the victims and they're in jail as we speak.
Yeah, I'm coming to that. So instead of addressing the issue, they were busy denying the reality on the ground. That did not help anybody. I expect this is one area where I fought the Tinubu's administration. It was obvious, it was open to the blind and very audible to the deaf that Buhari was a patron of Boko Haram and other banditry in the northern region. He didn't hide that. At a point, he came out to negotiate on their behalf. At the other point, he said attack on the banditry in the north was attack on the northern people. Attack on his northern brothers. So he didn't hide that. But surprisingly, when Tinubu came in, I was expecting Tinubu, to tackle it in a better dimension. But when he came, almost the same thing. All the people that were fingered as their sponsors, all the lists he had from local and international intel, he was busy still romancing them, trying to romance their ego, all in the name of trying to score some cheap political goals. He wasn't ready to do anything until a bully has to come from somewhere, a bully who never mean well for Africa, who never mean well for the black man, has to shout before Tinubu could take action. That to me wasn't good on the side of a responsible government. So you coming here to say people crying outside the country because you want them to remain quiet while they are being killed on daily basis? What kind of bias against a race is that? What kind of bias against a religion is that? What kind of position are you taking? You're not even you have the right to speak about what is happening in Nigeria, but you cannot be more Catholic than the Pope. People that have been affected on daily basis are coming out to tell you we are being killed. Look at when Tinubu went to Benue. It was like a carnival. Instead of going there to address the main issue, the worst thing he said there was like they should learn how to live with their neighbors. Learn how to live with neighbors. Terrorists, you're referring to terrorists as their neighbors? So he didn't address the issue. So I don't agree with you on that ground. But let me not overstress that, because that one was obvious. He started either pretending to be taking action or actually taking action as soon as Donald Trump came. I know they are pretending, they don't mean well. they have the same agenda. His agenda in terms of insecurity wasn't different from that of Buhari until Donald Trump's intervention. In as much as I don't want a foreign bully in my country, in that regard, he has started getting results. If we could just start in America alone, the very day he branded Nigeria as a country of special interest, you could see our government trying to pretend as if they were out to fight insecurity. So, in that regard, Donald Trump, even before he came to Nigeria, has already getting the result he wanted. But the angle I'm going to is coming to Nigeria is not for the interest of Nigeria or no, for interest of any other the Christians in Nigeria. Donald Trump is very transactional in nature. So, the greatest threat to Tinubu in 2027 will have been external factor. But Tinubu being the mafia, political mafia that he is, who is ready to give anything to protect his interests, and Donald Trump being another transactional, bigot, who is ready to demand for anything to protect their national interests. So you meet two criminals at a juncture. So the Nigeria is going to be the loser for it. So neither Buhari nor Tinubu is coming to help Nigeria in this regard. Donald Trump will come with all the demands. Does it not surprise you that about a few weeks ago, just about 2 weeks ago, you placing economic and security sanction on Nigeria? A few days ago again, you have allowed them to, giving them arms to find the bad. So Donald Trump on one hand will come with all the demands on earth. Tinubu on the other hand is ready to give away even Nigeria so long as his 2027 presidential ticket is secured to avoid the Goodluck Ebele Jonathan treatment. So either way, Nigerian is we're just gonna be used and done somewhere along the line until we rise up as a nation to fight to confront the problems that are confronting us. Those running to America, those thinking that Donald Trump is the Messiah, they are just being delusional. They are just being delusional. It's not the Messiah. He can't even help those fix the problem in America, not to talk of coming. Does it not surprise you? On one hand, he was telling the white minority in South Africa to relocate to America, that the borders were open for them. The paradise was reserved for them, even when those ones were not willing to leave. They said they were comfortable with where they are. Donald Trump was telling them, come to America, the borders are open. But in the case of Nigeria, you said there is a Christian genocide, which I don't oppose. Instead of opening the border for them to, before you throw your missiles, in case they want to run away so that they can have a safe haven, you lock the border against them to die in their shithole. So, until we get this right, the same person that caused your problem cannot turn around overnight to be your solution. If we don't learn from colonialism, if we don't learn from slave trade, it means we are not good students of history. We're not going to learn because we are so blinded by our tribal and religious sentiments. So, we are not objective when we talk. We are more wicked than those we oppose. The students of this one emanated from us. They didn't emanate from Pluto. They didn't emanate from Mars. They emanate from. They emanated from us. The kind of people we are. We are not sincere. We don't have a sense of patriotism. We don't have a sense of nationality. All we have is religious, tribal, and all the other sentiments. We allow them to becloud us instead of facing objectivity. So this is the biggest problem we have in Nigeria, and it will take a long time for us to come back as a nation. There is no sense of nationhood. There is no sense of nationhood. Everybody wants to see, the Igbo man wants to see himself, first of all, as an Igbo man. He doesn't care about what happens to the rest of us. The Yoruba man wants to, whatever, even if the criminal is there, my criminal is more, is better than your criminal. If the Fulani man is there, oh, no matter how criminal this man is, at least it's one of our own. So you don't build a nation like that. So the point I was trying to make.
I agree with that point.
Yeah, let me land this point. The greatest threat to Tinubu will have been the external threat. Somebody talking about whether they're going to ring. The kind of ringing you said, I want to disagree on that one, Mr. Joel. They don't ring by snatching ballot boxes anymore. The experience in Edo and other states will show to you that the people were ready to. We voted in Edo massively. The people of Edo wanted, it was the election in Edo was between the politicians and the people of Edo State. The people of Edo State were for progress, so they were ready to chase the politicians out of town. Then what happened? The people won at the polling stations. The institutional rigging came in. So the police, the INEC did their job. If you are here shouting every day on social media, it's not going to happen. You're not telling me how you're going to stop it. It gives me headache. We stopped yesterday. This guy was going here.
Comrade, what would you have us do? What would you have us do?
This should be the best conversation. Now, I also don't understand the point you made. The point you've made, you always, the conclusion you made yesterday, and you still repeated yesterday. The way I answered you is the same way this guy is answering you today. It's so good for you to say either Obi or not. Are you playing politics or you issuing a threat? Even in courtesy, you don't. Even in court societies, you don't talk like that. In politics,
okay, come. It's two of us.
Can you let me know? You ask me a question thereafter, please, so I don't lose my line of thought, please.
Go ahead.
You know, I look like a stammerer. If I like that makes me look as if I'm shouting, even if I don't want to shout. So if you bring in again to affront me, it makes my vibration even more higher. Please, just let me learn my point. You have a question for me? You know, feel I'm not saying I'm perfect. I just try to give you the little I know objectively. No matter who else is God. That's why I'm different from every one of you. You know, so in as much as I don't want Tinubu to continue because people are suffering, you're doing some economic, to you beautiful economic policies that are anti-people. You're not working for the international community. You're not working for the World Bank. You're working for Nigerian people. So the World Bank policy should not determine what you do. The center point of your policy should be Nigerian people. Should be people's oriented. This is my concern with this administration. No matter how beautiful you feel they are, people are still suffering. It does not remove that fact. People are still being killed on a daily basis. The denial will not even help us. Whether you say Christian or Muslim or pagan, people are being killed. They are Nigerians. This is my point. So until you wake up from your slumber to tackle these issues, whether you deny from tomorrow, from now to tomorrow, it doesn't stop the fact. Whether you are Igbo, whether you are Muslim, whether you are Yoruba, everybody is suffering in Nigeria. There is no special market for people that are suffering. No special gas station where the Yorubas are getting their gas cheaper in Nigeria as we speak today. So, are there opportunities for Tinubu to be voted at? Yes. But considering the Nigerian, the African factor of incumbency, the opposition is not serious. When you tell them to wake up from their slumber, they tell you it's either Obi or nothing. You're not telling us, you don't play politics like that. The other point you're making, either Obi or nothing. So if it's not Obi, Tinubu should continue. Invariably, you're working for Tinubu. You just admitted yesterday, you repeated it this morning. That is the tragedy you are treading. It's not going to help anybody. So when anybody points out the mistake of Obi, that Obi, look at the point Obi is getting it wrong, you people see that going as an enemy of Obi. The person is even more helpful to Obi than you people, than the psychopaths around Obi. The people Obi need this time, the people that were able to know that the guy is dealing with a lot already. People that were able to stand up to tell him that know that Obi needs support as a human being. People that realize the fact that Obi is infallible. It's not infallible. It's not indispensable. It's a human being. He can make mistakes and he can be corrected. And the man is willing to listen. But the people you see around him are the bunch of, emotional and sentimental supporters. I told you yesterday, in politics, the poorest strategy, we eat the biggest emotion for breakfast. It will eat the biggest sentiment for breakfast because emotions and sentiment will not bring anything to the table in politics. The man that is strategic, the man that is planning, is the incumbent. It's even more serious than the opposition. Does that not surprise you? He has the police behind him. He has the Nigerian treasury behind him. He has the Nigerian military behind him. He has almost all the paraphernalia of office behind him. He's even more serious in terms of trying to win people to his party than the opposition are supposed to be doing more. And you don't learn from the opposition of APC against PDP between 2014 and 2015 towards the build up to 2015 general election that removed Jonathan from office. And you went ahead to say, because of the zoning factor, that was why Jonathan was removed. You are wrong, too. It could be one of the microscopic reasons It could be one of the most infinitesimal reasons why it was removed, but it wasn't the major reason. Jonathan was a colossal failure in terms of corruption and everything. You know, allegation against a lot of prisons were responsible for the removal. Then the most Nigerians, the saying in the list of most Nigerians was any other person but Jonathan. You have forgotten all this, only to reduce it to Southern dichotomy in Nigerian political equation. That is wrong. So let us be objective when we talk, if we must have a solution. For us to have a solution, we must be able to accept the fact that there is a problem. Then we can start to talk of solution. Everybody living Obi, every important person living Obi. First time it was Kenneth Okonkwo. Kenneth Okonkwo that was so vocal for Obi. As soon as he started pointing out the mistakes in Obi political calculation, you people turn it to an enemy. And the other time it was Valentine Osibo, somebody that was close to Obi, not just a political ally, but as a brother, a fellow brother from Anambra State, let Obi because he wanted to protect his political interest. And when Obi was not forthcoming to resolve the issue, and time was of the essence, two people turned against Valentine Osibo. Recently now, VP has just left him dirty. You people are not asking questions. Why are these important people that used to be very loyal? Why are they jettisoning this man? What kind of mistake? How can we fix it? All you do is to blame any decent voices against Obi. This is not helping you. You are not helping Obi either. I rest my case. Thank you all.
Okay, let me respond. Can I respond quickly, please?
Of course, yeah, you can. Go on.
All right, thank you very much, comrade. You spoke a lot of things. Some I agree with you, and many I don't. And let me just start with this. Let me just address one thing you said. You said people live in Obi. Yeah, they can live Obi. It's no problem. Val Osibo was a stupid man. Val Osibo.
You just call somebody a stupid man. You don't want to be addressed like that.
Because you know why? I did not. I did. It should have been the president governor of Anambra State as we speak. People gave the Val Osibo support, but all of a sudden he said he wanted to go to APC. Like I said, APC never won no more election except probably in the second tenure of Hope Uzodinma, which people did not, because there was no viable candidate in the other parties, and in Ebonyi State. But in Anambra State, if you want to win APGA, you must present an alternative. And we were coming back off the back. We were just coming off the back of Obiano, which was who was a terrible governor. So Val Osibo would have done a good job, especially seeing that Soludo's first tenure was a colossal failure. A colossal failure. We could not see the Taiwan. We did not see the Dubai. Okay, give us no more roads. Give us no more things. What's the? I mean, as a former bank CBN governor, as a professor, we thought that things were going to be good, but he's messed the whole thing up. And that's the reason why in the last election you saw that he rigged. He was buying votes. If you were so comfortable at what you do, you wouldn't buy votes. But he was buying votes. Something that we never saw under Obi. So please, if people want to leave Obi, let them leave.
Can I just counter you on? Can I just counter you on what you said now? If Ojo made a mistake now, you are quick to insult Valentine. But let me tell you, it's like you are very far from Nigerian politics. You don't even know what is good. You don't know what you are defending. Let me tell you why. One of the reasons why he left. When he came to Dr. Damage's show, I was one of the people that heard him. If you listen to what we did to Valentine on that day, if you see the attack on Valentine, in fact, it was like, he was shouting on a brother to protect him. We gave him to him woto in the local parlance, the way Nigerian people would call it. So, but let me also be candid enough to to tell you one truth, nobody would be willing to tell you. The election was around the corner. Another election, gubernatorial election, was around the corner. Time was of essence. Valentine Igbo needed somebody, needed a resolution so that he could have a chairman, a secretary to sign his form. That wasn't forthcoming. So he needed to move on. And again, he thought, I was the person that confronted him. I asked him a question. I said, Valentine, no matter what you're telling us right now, we have every reason to feel that the demise of Ijeomah, and the Edo experience is some of your motivating factors for going into APC. You want them to do for you the same thing they did in Edo, and you feel the demise of Ijeomah is an opportunity for you to assess the government house in Anambra. He denied, I knew those one were part of the reason, but the major reason was that the crisis in labor wasn't being resolved. So he needed to submit his form. He needed the chairman to sign for him. He needed the secretary to sign for him. And again, Mr. Joyce of Nasri, I asked you today, are you comfortable? Were you satisfied the way Peter Obi handled the crisis in labor? If we could not handle the crisis in labor, don't you think we have bigger issues in the Nigerian multifarious and society than Labour Party? I ask you again.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I want you also to put yourself in Obi's shoes. You were trying to build a party based on rule of law. So, if there are two arguments or two people are dragging maybe justly for something, and no one is agreeing for the other person, what happens? You go to court. You see, comrade, I am so miffed though that you do not see the hand of the APC in all the parties in Nigeria.
I see more than you do. I see more than you do. I see more than you do. I'm not interested in who is solving your problem. I'm interested in what you are doing to resolve your problem. Okay. I see the hands of APC more than you do.
Hold on. You asked me a question. I just said.
Well, yesterday when I told you that the whole party system is not good for either the opposition or the incumbent, it's going to boomerang. It's going to blow up.
But I want to ask you this question. Do you think that the APC is destabilizing all the other parties? Do you think so?
Definitely. I don't need a prophet to tell me that.
So that answers my question. We wanted to
in your family, don't you have challenges in your family? Do you not run away from your house because there are challenges? No, don't tell me to hold on. Do you run away from your family or you resolve the issues? Do you run away from your house because there are challenges between you and your wife and your children?
Hold on. In the family, you're the head of the family. You have more hands-on on the problems you have in your family. But when your problem has to be settled by a third party, then it becomes a problem. And if that third party is corrupt or being used by another party, then your hands are tied. That is the point. Have you seen the Supreme Court give a judgment so vague? On the one hand, you're saying that Abure is not Abure's term has expired. But you're not giving clarity on your judgment to the point that Abure is still laying claims to the chairmanship. And on the other hand, too, you being APC, being in government, knowing full well that a court judgment is being disrespected, you being the head of the executive, you did not move in to say no as the executive. No, you must respect court order. So that is the point, Omori. You need to be in that position to understand what Peter Obi was going through. He went ahead and they went ahead to get the Nadi Usman. And what happened? The court gave every judgment. So Araba B is here causing nuisance. These other people are here saying, "Oh, we should be given the mantle of leadership in the Labour Party." So you can see all these parties are in disarray. All of them are in disarray, and it is the hand of the government. Look at Wike. Wike is in PDP and it's also in APC. In a normal country, would Wike kick off campaign in his states before the president or before even the whole campaign season starts? You can see the hand of the federal government. That is why Wike could threaten a sitting governor of a state. So it is bigger than what you're presenting here. Oh, what did Obi do? Obi did what he got to do.
Can I just object? Can I point out some of the things he didn't do well? Can I point them out to you? Yeah, I know this is very difficult, and this is the reason why most obedience see me as their enemy. According to a show recently, the issue at stake wasn't even about Obi at all. It was nothing to do with Obi. That was when it was about the Kanu and the protest election were organized. To tell you how deep this thing is among the obedient, a big show. The host of a big show was, "Hey, I know you hate Obi." Without even before I could say anything, even before I could say Jack, "I know you hate Obi." I mean, where is this one coming from? As soon as I left the show, because I wasn't given the opportunity to speak, she was the one busy telling people honestly, to be honest, to be fair to him. He didn't say anything about Obi. This is the mindset of most obedient, and it's not moving them forward. And the same slogan they have in either Obi or nothing. You don't do politics that way. But let me start by pointing out certain things that are not all right. In Edo, I know you're going to the only problem I have, assuming they could just listen to me to understand, first of all, that I'm not against Obi. In fact, even in 2023, I was accused of blasphemy for liking Obi to Jesus Christ in the midst of Barabbas and the other armed robber. When he was, I said, if you put Obi in the middle of Atiku and Tinubu, I likened Obi to Jesus Christ in the midst of Barabbas and the other armed robber on the cross. That is to tell you my level of support and option for Obi, since the Showore's message was not resonating with Nigerians. So I'm laying this foundation so that you know where I'm coming from. I don't hate Obi.
No, it's true, but it's true. But go ahead.
Okay, maybe you heard me on one or two. I kept saying that over and over in every forum, not just one. So I also went as far as saying, I see Obi, if Showore cannot make it, the trend, the Nigerian, we cannot force Nigerians to support Showore. But Obi was my next alternative, that was naturally. So, but when you talk something that is not in their favor, once you try to point out something, this idea of, arrogating a supreme natural being, the status of infallibility, invisibility, somebody that cannot make a mistake to a human being God created, it's not going to help this man. This man came out to say, I need people, I don't need sacrifice that will applaud whatever I do. I need people around me that will be able to checkmate my excesses, that will be able to stand up to me to tell me I am wrong whenever I am wrong. That is the hallmark of a leader.
But we do now. We do.
When you were talking, I just listened to you.
Do you know how much you can get to be?
When you were talking, you know where I'm going now. You don't want to hear. This is the problem.
Brother, calm down. We're having a discussion. Everything is not fine.
You don't want to hear.
Calm down. Sometimes we can just exchange.
You just try to trigger me.
It's not fine. It's not fine. No, I'm not triggering you.
Just both of us on this. Just both of us, right? Why are we in a hurry? You were talking. I listened to you attentively without objection. So now I'm trying to tell you some of the things he is doing. You're not comfortable because I made the foundation. You know where I'm going to. I'll give you an example. If you don't allow me to lay the foundation, I was laying those foundation to let you know that I don't hate Obi. I'm not a hater of Obi. So if anybody has has a decent voice against the tactics or strategy, doesn't necessarily mean the person hates Obi. The person might even love Obi more than some of the obedient. If the person comes out to say emotions and sentiments will not in any way boost his political capital, it doesn't necessarily mean hatred for Obi. So I give you one vivid example. In Edo, is a leader should be able to define where he stands anytime, any day. And according to American politician, he said the ultimate measure of a man, like I said yesterday, it's not where he stands in times of comfort and confidence, but where he stands in times of a crisis. So Obi should be able to stand his political foot to say, this is what I want, and this is how I want to get it back. That was the difference between OBJ, Buhari, and what you have now as Tinubu. Three different leaders. Buhari was the reason in Edo why Obaseki was able to come back, because he wasn't ready to play dirty the way OBJ and Tinubu would do it. But this is Nigeria. On one hand, you say you want to follow the law, like you did in Anambra. The times are different. What you had then in Anambra, in Nigeria, in form of Nigerian courts and Nigerian political equation then, is different from what you had in 2023. It's even more different from what you have today. So if you're waiting for that, or say you were impeached, you came back 2 times, in this present day Nigeria, you must be making a mistake. In Edo, Obi was neither here nor there. Just give me the time to let them out. So if I'm wrong, you will know. If I'm coming from the position of objectivity, you will also know. If I hate Obi, you will know at the end of the day. Just give me time. In Edo, we had 3 major candidates. The one of APC, which was Modi Okpebolo. We had another one for PDP, Aswani Godalo. We have another one for Labour, Akpata. Obi knows he wasn't for Akpata. You can find out when you are done here. Or you can put a call across to those that are close to Obi to verify what I'm saying right now if I'm wrong. Obi knew he wasn't for Akpata. The same Obi, you feel he would not deceive anybody. He was playing politics the way other politicians would do it, without stamping his authority as a leader. Obi was actually for Ighodalo in Edo State. To trust my point, Obi's financial campaign manager, the younger Ighodalo, who is the pastor, his brother was the candidate in Edo. Instead of Obi, even the candidate, the way, if I don't want to go into, for the want of time, I don't want to go into how Akpata emerged overnight from nowhere to be the flag bearer of Labour Party. That's another discussion for another day. That was the reason why you see the Labour Party structure in Edo was not behind Akpata. Obi and some other Labour leaders were not behind Akpata. They all said he came to Edo just to raise his hand up to fulfill all political righteousness. That is not good of a leader. If the candidate wasn't good, the way he emerged wasn't good, you need to address that, because that will affect the outcome of your election. So you pretended as if nothing was going on. Abure wasn't for this, a lot of problems in Labour that were not addressed. So he came overnight from, as at the time of the last 2023 election, Akpata was actually in PDP. Go and verify. He came from nowhere. The likes of Riceman that were on grant, the other candidate that were already on grant, I don't know where he got his money from, probably from APC to come and destabilize the PDP in Edo. He came to the political scene to dollarize the political scene and bought the ticket over. I bought a vehicle, Sienna vehicle for all the war chairmen. That was how he emerged. Obi wasn't comfortable with that. Abure wasn't comfortable with that either, because Abure already collected money from Riceman and co. They could not resolve that election. That was why he wasn't able to win even his own local government. I repeat, his own local government he defeated. He was defeated in his own local government. And Obi came here to Edo to raise the hand of such a fellow. Behind the scene, Obi was busy telling them Ighodalo was the best material. It was the best humanitarian material in Edo. For PDP? Yes, sir. If I'm true right now, I didn't know. Yeah, you can verify what I'm saying right now. That is not good of a leader.
Hold on. Let me just. I wanted to ask you one question, right?
Example, I want to give you. You're not comfortable because the truth is coming out.
No.
Like that.
I'm agreeing with you now.
Let me learn with that of Anabra so that if you want to slaughter me, you can slaughter me. Let me tell you the bitter truth that obedience are not ready to listen to. So I don't want to let me forget about the other ones. I want to give you like 10 examples where he has not demonstrated his good qualities of a leader that's ready to build a party. You don't get every political offer on a platter of gold like you did in Anambra. You don't want to face primaries in Nigeria's situation. The presidential election is not done anywhere. So if you keep telling people either Obi or not, you're already directly telling people Tinubu should just continue because it's not going to happen. Number two, let me just give you an example of Anambra State. In Anambra, they were busy saying the candidate in Anambra wasn't popular. They were busy saying Obi wasn't for him. They were busy saying that he wasn't Obi's candidate. But however, Obi will just go there and raise his hand to fulfill our political righteousness. A state that is important to be as Anambra State, you playing such politics. When I confronted them with this fact, what they told me was, it doesn't matter. Are you from Anambra? So you can talk about Tinubu from Lagos. You can talk about those elections. You can talk about Kano and everywhere, but you don't want somebody to talk about Anambra because he has to do with Obi. And what they told me is that it doesn't matter. I say it matters a lot. That is the primary constituency, the primary political constituency of Obi. Obi's performance in Anambra will go a long way to determine, to help him in the future. Number one, not just having the governor, finance will come from there, a lot of home base will come from there, a lot of, political capital will come from there. They will tell you it doesn't matter. So you don't point anything that is wrong to them that they will accept. They believe Obi knows what he's doing. So I rest my case, continue from there. If you don't allow me to give you more.
My brother, see, I really did not know what happened in those states. So I am not going to argue with you on what happened or what did not happen. However, I knew that one of the things that was working against Abata was something about the senatorial district where he comes from. I don't know, something, I don't know if it's, I don't know. They were saying that they needed a candidate from where the present governor comes from. So I don't know. So I can't just like speak to it. That of Anambra. The internal wranglings, it wasn't really strong because Obi was already one leg ADC, one leg Labour Party. And this is the thing, right? You see, a house that's already divided is already divided. Because when you look at what happened between Abure and Arobambi after post-election, it was a lot of division. So even that of Edo State, I could see. I mean, there was no Julius Abure. So it wasn't a full house, right? On one hand. And secondly, the candidate they got was not from the senatorial district.
As at that time, who was the biggest leader? Who was the biggest factor in Labour? Just sorry, this is not a point of argument. It just we are saying Obi. So yes. My question again: are you here to say to defend Obi on the ground that he did enough to resolve the crisis in Labour? I just want to hear the answer from you, so we can move on from
yes, I think he did enough.
Okay, so if you said they were already infraction. So if your house is coming as well, if your house is falling apart, yes. I will Hakim, just 1 minute. If your house is falling apart as a leader, your roof is blown up by wind, you allow it there, you abandon your house and leave because there are already a crisis in your home.
No,
that's what you guys do every day. I will benefit more. I benefit more when you guys begin to point out the mistake of being making so that he can strategize and this pathway will not lead you to presidency. He cannot even lead you to council.
It's all right. If Obi does not become the president, I mean, we stay with what we have. It's not a do or die affair. So sometimes people think that making Obi president is.
If they do that, so there's people that are suffering, that are giving him the effort that is wasted. He's wasting the Nigerian effort, the effort of the obedience. He's wasting the Nigerian. People lost their lives in the last election. People were wounded by the last election. They cannot continue to do that.
The issue there is this, right? In the 2027 election, what we are saying is this. You are from the South. Are you from the South, Mr. Comrade? Are you from the South?
Definitely. I'm a Christian. I'm also from the South. So I'm not a Muslim. I'm not a Fulani man.
So I want to ask you something, right? Between the North and South, where do you want the presidency to be in 2027?
Okay. This is my own opinion, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to change. It's not going to change anything. Then for me, I want the best man to rule Nigeria that will deliver the goods for the people, that will make a better society. But then that would be a wishful thinking too. If I fail to recognize Nigeria, the multi-ethnic nature of Nigeria as it is today, I will be naive. I will be delusional to want to tell you, oh, the best man can come from anywhere. We are supposed to be in a decent society, in a society where the political maturity has grown to that of America or anywhere in the world. I will say, okay, the best man should emerge. But then that would be delusional. That would be naive on my part. So there are good candidates from anywhere. Since there is a unwritten gentleman agreement, the North-Southern rotation, that have been helping Nigeria to create a sense of belonging to every region, I mean, I also want them to honor that gentleman agreement, which was the reason why I wasn't comfortable with what Atiku and the wicked did to PDP to scatter PDP in 2023. So, if after 8 years of a disaster of Buhari, the power has come to the South, it should remain in the South for the next 8 years. What is good for the good, they say, is also good for the gander. So how much is good for much is expected. So they have no natural bet, over Nigerian presidency. So if you ask me, I would want the power to remain in the South. This is the turn of the South.
So now you understand. My brother, please let's just try this. Just give us 1 minute. I'm going to try this thing out. Okay, just 1 minute. So, Omari, I think now you understand where the obedience are coming from.
I understand it more than you do. Right? Just the way you are going about it. The way obedience are going about it is wrong. Hold on. This is the thing, right? We have had that written agreement that power should rotate between the North and to give us some sense of belonging. Right? Now, if power must go to the South, right? If you were the father, if ADC was your family, right? And you have seen that we must stick to this agreement, right? That is the first. Now, if we stick to that agreement, and when it comes to the South, who do you think will be the best candidate? I will give it to that person that has that great followership. The same thing APC did with Buhari. When ACN was trying to form a merger with CPC, they went for the star boy in the North. Right? Whatever Buhari did afterwards is left for history. But the objective was to do what? To get into power.
We should also after 8 years Kalu with Buhari, we should also play another Kalu with Obi again. Is that what you're saying now?
So Obi is not
the issue related to what we are discussing. Let me answer you. I think I come. Let me land. I have like 30 seconds. Let me just land. So the issue there is this, right? The foundation of any agreement we're going to make it 2027. The foundation is rotational presidency, where the power should reside. That is first. Because if you flip it, and you say it is the turn of the North, and a Southerner wants to come take that position, it's going to be chaos. Yeah. So what is good for the good is good for the gander. If we are going to go by this rule, let us stick by that rule. And when you look at the southern part of ADC, who is the star boy? It's Peter Obi. So if you have said this, you are repeating what you have said before. Give me 1 minute to answer you. If you want to get into power easily, right? It has to be Obi. Thank you. Yes, we've heard you. Okay, just listen to this. I wish politics was played the way you're analyzing it. And I also want to remind you that in politics, one man's a hero could be another man's a terrorist. To you, Obi is the most popular. And you know, I've no doubt. To you and the obedient, no doubt. Does he have some sense of popularity? No doubt. But in the last election, if we watch, you have just ready to go by, Obi has 6.1 million. Atiku scored more votes, close to 7 million than Obi. So, your analysis of being the star boy, the most popular, it does not hold water there. And again,
in the South, in the South.
Okay. Let me give that one to you. And again, what they did, what the Tinubus of this world did for Buhari is what you guys are not willing to do right now. They made a lot of sacrifices. They knew what they wanted. Not necessarily because Buhari was the best candidate among them. Not the most intelligent, not the most educated, but they knew what they wanted to liberate on. The 12 million they had in the bank, the political capital of 12 million that was already.
You're repeating what I said. You're repeating what I just said.
I'm coming. That one now you are not ready to do. Now you guys are already saying either Obi or not. The articulated people are saying either Atiku or not, which means the opposition is dead on arrival. It's arriving exactly. It's dead on arrival. You don't play politics like that. You guys, even when you have Obi in mind, don't push the Aishas of this world, the mama piece of this world to go intimidate politicians like Atiku and David Mann and Eric Bessola that have been in the game before he was.
It's only common sense. It's only common sense.
So, can I still come in as well?
You don't intimidate people. You are
Mama, please. Instead of repeating the sentence.
Give me 1 second. 1 second.
No, there's no more. Can I come in? You guys have been together like for hours now.
Yeah,
what's going on?
1 second. 1 second.
Let him come in. Omoruyi, let him come in. You are repeating the sentence.
1 second is fast. So you don't coerce people to be on your side. You do it in politics through persuasion and conviction. I don't see my case.
So now that you raised your case, and can I come in now? So. I start one after the other. So for me personally, going into that 2023 election, I think Obi was one of the worst candidates among the major political, among the major candidates. That was me personally. I don't see him as somebody who has any political ideology. I don't see him as anybody who has any policies, ideas. So I never saw him as somebody, it's more like a governance person, somebody who will come in and just govern based on what is on ground without any form of positions taken as a person. So for me, I didn't like that, and I don't think, because I could tell what Atiku stood for, and I could tell what Tinubu stood for when it comes to policies and the direction of policy implementation. So
Did you read the manifesto?
I know it's not about the manifesto. It's about I'm talking about long-standing governance history from Atiku, from Tinubu, and from Obi. Obi was the governor for 8 years, so I didn't need to read a manifesto that somebody who is supposed to be a capitalist-minded person, but went to run under a socialist political party, which is the Labour Party. So that manifesto for me there was no need for it. So that's one part of it. So another thing I was trying to say, Joel, was that you see, if Obi was the president today and things were very bad, what you guys are doing today is the same thing you would have done, is just defend everything that is going on. So Obi went to Rivers State during that election. He went to campaign with Ijeomah publicly. This was a Labour Party candidate, presidential candidate. In the public space, Obi took the microphone. He said, "You can give them the governors, and then you give us the president." This is a man whose party has a governorship candidate in that election in Rivers State. He openly said that. So for the idea that this man is some upright person, for me, it's a fallacy. You will never see any politician who knows what party politics means go out and do that. You could have that conversation in private, but for you to take the microphone publicly and denounce your own party that has a governorship candidate in that same state. For me, that was outrageous. That's put that one aside. Then you talk about Abure. There was a court.
That was not right. That was not right. That was not right, though. That was not right.
So yeah, but he did it. So that was what I'm saying. So you then you look at the Abure.
The first time I hear this guy saying what Obi did is wrong. First time,
it's a lie. The thing there is that you guys always listen to, we castigate him. It's not like we see him as a
Yo, guys, so the Abure issue that you were talking about, Joel. So you said his tenure had expired, right? But you forgot that Obi and Alex Oti were the one that conducted the Congress was it in Anambra or in Abia State that reproduced Abure as the chairmanship of the Labour Party. Have you forgotten that? Were you not aware when that Congress was held? Even though the likes of our Papa were in court at that time, they were against that Congress. They were telling you guys that it was illegal because there's a court ruling, there's a court injunction and everything. You guys said that Papa and the Rabambi were sponsored by the APC, right? So, but in the end, those were the guys that were vindicated. But you guys were the one who were after them at that time. Today, now the same Abure has become enemy of you guys as well, because Obi decided.
No, he's enemy of Nigerians, not even enemy of us.
No, because Obi and Alex Oti decided to go and bring another Usman, who was among everybody you could find in Nigeria to come and be part of your political structure in that Labour Party. They didn't find anybody. They went to get Nandi Usman, who has a corruption charges against her in the AFCC, who was under Buhari government. Where are the principles? Where is the principles of these politicians who you guys are holding to high esteem? Like, this is my problem. For me, I said, if this country, if Nigerians actually want to say, okay, we want to be radical, we want to channel a different course. For me, you have to look at Omoyele Sowore. If you don't go in that direction, please, I'm not in this business of somebody trying to sell me.
Omoyele Sowore is not a moral man.
It's okay. Hold on. Let me finish now.
Omoyele Sowore is a bully. He should contest for the local government chairman. He should chairman or a councillor. Let us see what he can do. And it's a big position. But we cannot Sowore is going to be a mess. Sowore is going to be a mess. I mean, he never had anything to the same Sahara reporters. What are you talking about? What's his background in public office?
Hold on.
Are we going to treat one monkey for another?
Joel, hold on 1 second. So 1 second. What I'm trying to explain to you is that I use Sowore name don't necessarily mean that I advocate for Sowore specifically. Why I brought Sowore name into it was I'm trying to explain to you that if we want to say, okay, we channel a different course, it has to be a total, complete outsider, somebody who's out of the political sphere. Bring that person in, who will be radical in the reform that the country need. Okay, somebody that everybody will unite against. But no, don't tell me that somebody who's an Obasanjo boy, somebody who was an Abacha boy, somebody who was a governor for 8 years is an outsider. Somebody who, let me finish. Somebody who he was given the ticket of the Labour. How did you think Obi got the ticket of the Labour Party? They just love him and they just gave him the ticket. No, they did not offer it to him. Those were Obasanjo's work. Or everybody that was around Obi were Obasanjo boys in 2023. Yes. Come on, man. Every
wasn't a small political feat.
That Baba Ahmed became the VP candidate through every structure around Obi were the handwork of Obasanjo in that election. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about the same system.
Obasanjo is not a bad one. when you look at that achievement, I wish the president, if every government after him achieve what Obasanjo achieved
so the same thing. You see, this is the problem. Like the same thing.
Obasanjo is not perfect.
Yeah, hold on. You see the same thing that you accuse.
Like that.
Joel, the same thing that you're accusing Tinubu of doing today, Obasanjo did 10 times worse when he wanted to run for re-election. Do you know what he did to the Southwest AD states? Do you know how he got rid of every single government? You cannot be using the excuse of...
It was a do-or-die affair. He said it was a do-or-die affair.
You cannot be...
It was Buhari that said do-or-die, not the...
So, listen,
Obasanjo has done his bit. Leave Obasanjo alone. I don't know what is your crowd against him.
But what I'm saying to you is that for me, Obi is not what you guys say he is. You guys can pretend from now till decade.com. I'm not going to buy it. That's all.
We know who Obi is, and we know what he's done when he had executive powers. And if you want to test a man, it's when you give him power and money. Obi had both, and Obi did not misuse it. I would take that. Someone that was there.
What about the Pandora paper? What about the Pandora paper offshore accounts that is open in Nigeria?
Like I said, right? If we are projecting Obi, that Obi is quickly clean. And the Tinubu government, who happens to be...
So what are you then...
Can I finish? Let me land. If we are saying that Obi is quickly clean, and that is the public perception of Obi, and Tinubu, who happens to be his competitor, decides to open up everything he knows about Obi, he should go ahead and do it. They are not doing it because it does not hold water. So what you are projecting or what you are disseminating out there is just be apologists, Pandora. What do you know about it? You know nothing about it.
Have you not accused Tinubu of several corruption? Have you not accused Tinubu of being corrupt?
No, Tinubu is a druggy president. Tinubu is a heroin peddler.
So he has conviction for peddling heroin.
This is court documents. Court documents. I am not saying something.
Heroin.
Oh yes, I mean, nobody. No, if you look, let me tell you, I stay in this system. If you accuse me that I stole a car, and from the money I made from the car, I bought a house. If they're going to come in, if I am guilty, right? Even if I take a plea deal, right? They might decide to confiscate my house.
But his property was not confiscated.
Oh no, he forfeited most of the money he had in his account.
Yeah, for taxes. Not most of the money. Not most of the money.
No, hold on.
You see how you frame that word.
No. I am telling you that from the court documents, there were some seizures that was made.
Hold on. Joel, you live in the United States. Mr. Mori, you live in the United States. We're not stupid here. Money that was traced to narcotic dealings. So the government of the United States is now negotiating with you to release some of the money. Is that how it works?
Yes.
No, they don't need to say anything to defend their heroes.
So they will be negotiating money that is related to narcotics.
Yes, you don't know Chicago. If you know Chicago very well, you know that it's a corrupt city. So I can in Chicago.
What you did in America was just like what we call the plea bargain in Nigeria. Plea bargain. What they did to Lotivilejo, when they were corrupt, they were found guilty. Instead of going to prison, they decided to release papers of the money.
It's an option here too.
That was what he did.
Hold on. He did not do that again, right?
You won't listen to another person because you don't listen to know. Okay, if you know with this, let me give you another example. Do you know what they call conflict of interest in politics? Taking state money into a bank where you have a personal interest Does that amount to corruption in politics?
And then you're making profit from those personal interests.
Yes,
that's not corruption, right? That's not corruption.
That amount of conflict of interest?
No. I mean, even lobbying is corruption. Look, let me tell you something. Listen.
You guys need to stop this. You guys need to stop this, man.
Hold on. It's not stopping nothing. The issue was that there is a court document, and it is clear what the case was all about. And we know that he was a heroin dealer, and he ran away from the United States.
No, you're not talking about Obi. I just read this issue.
You're talking about the man still had visa. He was visiting United States.
That was after the plea deal.
Oh my God.
That was after the plea deal. So you cannot confuse us. And apart from that, his education qualification, especially his primary and secondary school, was questionable. It was questionable.
Are we comparing two corrupt individuals here? Are we comparing
what I'm saying is this, right?
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question quickly?
President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Can I ask you a question?
He had no business being.
Can I ask you a question quickly? Which certificate did Obi submit for his last presidential election? Which certificate?
If I tell you, you will not believe. So go and take it out and show me.
So I know. He submitted his secondary school leaving certificate, his YX certificate.
No. He presented his university certificate.
No. INEC is open document, so there's nothing to hide there. If you go to INEC website, you will find it there. There's nothing to hide there.
I bring it. It's a lie. Obi said it with his. You see one thing. See, let me tell you something.
Oh my God, why do you want to argue this?
Hold on. Let me tell you something. You see,
Mr. Murray, please. If you have it, because I don't have the second phone, I would have googled it.
Hold on, please. Can I say something?